Hi, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning. It is a late edition of this. But hey, I always said if I had something to talk about, I'd definitely come and talk about it. It's your boy, Damon. I'm here with the DK and Tree podcast. Listen, I always come on, and like I said, whenever I want to talk about some things, yeah, talk about it. So I was up, so I said, let's talk about it. So this is what I want to talk about. How important is family to you? Is it very important to you? Does family not really be important to you? Or do you even care about family? Yeah. So you look at things out here and you see how some people just they are into their family, they're not into their family, there's rifts in families, they have problems. But for me, family is very, very important. The reason why is because your family should stick together. And we see a lot of families don't stick together. They don't. They feud, they bicker, they argue. And one of the biggest things that's biggest rifts with families is money. Money. And if money gets involved, then it's a big rift between family members. But family should be important to everyone. Should be. For me, it's very important. It's because simple fact that hey, wherever we fight, bicker, argue, whatever, I always got your back. I'll never turn my back on you. And you just have to sit here and just wonder why things happen. All right, I give you some examples, because I always like to touch on things like the younger generation out here these days. And you listen to the way they talk to their parents. And I'm like, wow, if I was growing up back in that day, I wouldn't have any teeth for talking to my parents like that. It's no respect for your elders. There's no respect for anything these days. You know, where is it to again, family is supposed to be important to you. But if something happens, and I see this younger generation doing all the time, oh, call my mother. Oh, your mother? What? It's just unbelievable. Eh, listen, however your upbringing was, it's I don't know. But again, to me, family is very important. Bestie, hey, what's happening? Family is very important to me. So no matter if I say you my family. And family doesn't just have to be blood. Family could be somebody that you're very, very tight with. Just like my bestie here in the comment. That's my sister. That's my bestie. That's my roadie. That is somebody I consider my sister. And we've been up and down roads, thick and thin. She's been there for me at my lowest point of my life, and I've been there for her as far as the same. So family just doesn't stretch just because it's your blood. Family just stretches as anybody that's really tight to you. So my thing of it is why are families bickering, arguing? Why are they feuding? I understand that we're not always going to agree. Not always going to agree. But guess what? We should have some medium, some common ground that we can just say, hey, we didn't get to do this, but guess what? We're in it now for us. This is us. This is family. So I'm not understanding why we bicker and where we fight. When family, again, is supposed to be the most potent thing to you. It should be to where the point that, hey, if I go down, I know my brother, my sister, my cousin, my aunt, so somebody has my back. But we don't really have that out here today. And it's truly, truly sad. It is. And like I said, we're always fighting against each other, or we have to feel as though that we have to be better than the next person. And why? Why? Why is that? It's because what I don't feel as though I have to be better than anybody. If I eat, I want everybody to eat. If I'm successful, I want you to be successful too. If I got something that'll help you, then I want to give you that knowledge, or I want to give you something the same way I would hope that you would do that to me in return. But again, we don't see that. We're always battling against each other. And why is that? Why are we battling each other? What is the reason? I know everyone's different. Everybody's upkeep and upbringing is different. But guess what? This is the time where we all should be like, hey, I've had enough. Let's stick together. Let's get through this together. Hey, if we fall, let's pick each other up. But you notice when we fall, guess what? Oh, I'm gonna just kick you while you're down. Give people their flowers while they can smell them. Yes, absolutely. Give them their flowers. If somebody does something good, let's say, hey, listen, hey, I praise you for that. We don't pick each other up. We don't uplift each other instead of on the grave. Absolutely. We always want to say, something when someone has went to the other life, but we never want to say it to their face while they're here. Again, why? Why are we so divided? Why do we feel as though that we again have to be better than the next person? Why can't we stick together? And like I said, situations and families that happen where again you may have people just disagreeing about something, or I give you one even better, they just don't want to listen to the other person at all. It's their way or no way. And it can't be like that. Because again, just because you may think that you know something, you may not know it. You have to look at it from someone else's eyes. And I had to learn that you have to look at something from someone else's eyes. You have to understand what they maybe go through. You have to understand everything of what someone else is go through, just because it can't be your way or no way all the time. So, I mean, I had to learn that. So, listen, like I said, family stretches far from me. And I'm very, very big on family. If I say that we are tight and you my family, that means I'm going to back for you. That means I'm side by side with you. That means that, hey, that we are in this together, no matter what. You are my family. You're my roadie. That means everything to me. And, like I said, it stretches just far from blood, because I have people that I've known for years and they ain't going nowhere. They my family. They're true friends, true family. And we all stick together. But like I said, we all just need to just come together and just be peaceful together. And like I said, it's too much bickering, too much animosity, and the biggest divider is always money. Always money. Money is just like, hey, listen, I'm just gonna go ahead. Money will divide a lot of people because they feel as though that money is more important than everything. So it's really, really sad. Come on in here. Yeah, come on in here. I was waiting for you to come on. So
You was waiting for me.
yeah, I was waiting for you. I knew you see when I went live. I was waiting for you. But I'm just talking about this whole issue with family. It's because again, and I said this to you last night. I said, if you're here, you're family. I said this to you. Despite anything, no matter what, if you're here, you're family. And
Right.
family sticks together. No ifs, no ands, and no buts. And I was just talking about Tree because she's on here. She's family. She's not just a friend. She's not that my best friend. She's family. That's my sister. And I will always go to back for her. No ifs, no ands, no buts. That's my best friend, but that's my sister overall.
Right.
People in my circle has been really, really tight with me. That's my circle. And it's very, very small. Very small. And I cherish that and I honor that. And I try to pass off as much knowledge, anything as possible. To make you better. I don't want to be better by myself. I want to make sure that person is better also.
Mhm.
So, but hey, go ahead. Floor is yours.
Man, I mean, I just think that sometimes people miss the concept of understanding the value of the part that you play in someone else's life. And when we're talking about family, I think you have to really look at yourself in the mirror day in and day out and wonder, okay, what am I bringing to the table to positively affect them? As a parent, what am I doing to help my child, um for the sake of our relationship, for the sake of their future? What am I doing with them by myself to make that happen? Um and I think the challenge of that, because a lot of people, talk about how, there isn't a book on parenting. There isn't there isn't a guide on how to parent, or how families are supposed to work. You see pictures of all the time. You see pictures all the time of, families with different races, from different backgrounds, things of that nature. You see that, but you don't really get the full breakdown of, you know, how valuable someone is in the family, unless you're like reading the Bible or something. Like, you just don't, you know what I'm saying? So I say that to say that, you try to give family members grace, because there isn't that guide available to us. Um, but at the same discretion, it's kind of like, think about think about how it would positively affect them. Is what I'm saying at this moment in time, is it going to positively affect them? Because if not, then it doesn't need to be said, or needs to be said differently. Or if there's something that I did that was wrong, I need to make that adjustment, so that way it doesn't negatively affect them. Because at the end of the day, when you're talking about family, it's not just about you, it's about those around you. And when you factor that in and you take it into consideration, certain things do matter. They just do. Like, a child will look at their parent a certain way if, you know, the parent is talking to them a certain kind of way, or, making them feel less than. Well, of course, when the child gets older, and they do get old very fast, they look at said parent and they're like, that's where that resentment comes into play. And no one likes that. But the basis of that is stemming from the relationship that the parent and the child have amongst each other. Um, and that just plays a focal point in some family cases. I know everybody likes to point the finger and, cast blame on this person, that person, but the the cliche way of saying that it all starts at home is a real thing. It all starts at home. When you see kids, you know, I don't know, doing stupid stuff out in the street, it starts at home. What are the parents doing at
Absolutely, it
home?
starts at home.
What are the parents doing at home? What's being instilled at home? Um, because we're a reflection of our families in some way, shape, or form, whether we want to admit it or not. And I think that when people take the time out to look at themselves in the mirror and recognize, okay, wait, is what I'm saying, is what I'm doing positively affecting those close to me? And if it's not doing that, I need to have the self awareness to make that adjustment if necessary. And so I think that within itself causes a lot of friction in families, is that people don't want to take accountability. Um, and when just not even just in family environments, but just like in the workplace, if no one's taking accountability for you know the job not being done, I mean, that doesn't change anything. Like,
No, no,
you know what I'm
no,
saying?
no.
So it's just the fact that I think a lot of families come into this issue of having to just take accountability, um and just making the adjustment to move forward. And it's so hard for some people due to pride, due to whatever the case may be. But I think that within itself causes friction, which is unfortunate because it's as simple as apologizing, or simple as pulling someone to the side and talking with them properly instead of how it was before, and things of that nature. But that's apparently hard to do. um, yeah, and it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate because something as simple as that could change a lot of things, and people don't want to take people want to take that opportunity to do that. Exactly.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Putting pride and ego aside.
You have to. You have to. Because at the end of the day, you have to go back to what is the ultimate goal. Like, okay, you have this family, but what is the ultimate goal? What is the purpose of all of us being together in one household, or being around each other for an extensive period of time? What's the purpose of that? Because if you're telling me we're all just supposed to be in one building, but we don't really like each other, I can do that with a stranger. You know what I'm saying? Like what is the ultimate goal of us being as one? And I think, like I said, some people do not want to, or struggle with, taking accountability, um and thinking about the other person, and it sucks because, again, it's something as simple as, hey, I fucked up. Hey, I should have addressed this situation a little bit differently, especially considering, how you would feel about it and how it would affect you. I should have addressed it differently, or I should have handled that situation a little bit differently. Um, so it's it's kind of challenging. Um, it really is. And it's the sad part is that no one's safe when it comes to this either.
No,
It
no.
could be it
Oh
could be
no.
a
Oh no.
child, it could be a parent, it could be anyone. Um, just but it just boils down to taking that initiative, to take that accountability, to say, hey, um, I messed up, and I'm not about to go to until you know something happens to you for me to realize or have that regret that I should have simply handled something differently.
Absolutely. A-
So,
And the thing of it is that, again, I look at it as, hey, I need, if I'm better, then I'm trying to make you better,
mhm,
right? That means whatever knowledge or anything I can instill on you, that means I'm giving it to you, because I don't just want to be a great person. I want everybody around me to be great.
right.
And that's the problem that we have in some of these families. And I'm going to go back to this comment right here, putting
Sure.
pride and ego aside.
Mhm.
And I can be honest in saying, when I was younger, I had a massive ego, massive. I was selfish. I was ornery. I was just not a good person back then. But you have to learn how to change, and you have to learn how to make yourself better, because, my grandmother raised me, and I have these old school values, very, very old school values, and things that I do. where you have to look at this new generation that, again, it all starts in the home. They really don't have it. And, you have parents that's not really teaching, but they're talking at the kids instead of teaching them. Say, hey, no, that's not the way. This is the way it needs to be. This is the way. If you listen to how some of these youth talk to their parents these days, it's appalling. It's appalling.
Yeah.
It's appalling, especially if they are in the streets or anything. It's appalling the way they talk to their parents.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it all starts in the home. Hey, how do we combat that? How do we stop it? It's knowledge and education. It is. It's knowledge and education. And, you just have to say, hey, look, listen, I'm not always right. And sometimes in my decisions, I'm like, hey, yeah, I could have handled that a better way. But the simple fact, the end result is that I still have your back, no matter what. We all make mistakes. No one on this earth is perfect. Only perfect person that walks this earth ain't here no more. And we all have to try to stick together. We need to evaluate ourselves and figure out how we can help each other grow and fight for that growth every day. That is a true statement. Yeah. Very true statement. We have to fight for it every day.
And you have to choose. You have to choose to fight it. You have to make the decision.
Choose.
You have to make that decision. Because, again, it all goes back to what I was saying earlier about taking the time out to say, hey, I'm choosing to make this work, not just for me, but for us to operate effectively and for the future to operate and move and maneuver effectively. And so, exactly, that's what I was getting ready to say. Because I feel like again, it goes back to taking the time out to say, and I'm speaking from a child's perspective. So the lens is a little bit different, but because I think what's going on in this new generation as well is that they're watching their parents. This sounds crazy to say, but they're watching their parents kind of act like kids in some way, shape, or form. They're on the phone talking loud and not giving anything else around them the time of day, or just doing other activities outside of taking care of home. The list goes on and on. And I'm not here to judge or whatever case may be. What you decide to do in your household is what you decide to do in your household. All I'm saying is that the decisions that you decide to make do affect everyone that's in that building.
Yes, it does.
So again, if you're making the constant choice to try to do things your own way, to have that pride, to have that ego, it's selfish, and you don't gain anything out of doing that. Because again, it's not just you that's affected. It's those that's around you. And children, unfortunately, depending on what the dynamic is, they suffer in silence, because it's not like the kid could talk back. At least that's how it used to be. Now, if the kid talks back, it's like, hey, Johnny, now don't make me take your iPad away. It's like, it's like, come on, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you gotta be kidding me. It's just, taking the time out to say, hey, like, all right, I'm talking at you, but I'm not really talking to you. I'm not really listening to what you're saying. I'm just waiting for me to speak, so that way you get the message that I'm trying to say. Um, it's just transparency, consistency, fearless, effective communication starts with listening with the person. Yes, yes, that's exactly it. And uh, I think to simplify it, I think people need to treat it like dating. This sounds so crazy to say, but I think that's the perspective that people need to have. In order for a relationship to flourish, what needs to be a main focal point of it? Last time I checked is communication, effective communication. And it's not just, oh, us talking. Okay, let me take a step back to hear what you have to say. Okay,
But
now I need
wait. Not only hear what you have to say, but
Mhm.
understand what you
Understand
have to say.
exactly. That's
It's
exactly
not
what I
just
said.
it's not hearing you. You have to understand it.
Right.
Again, I don't walk in your shoes. So
Hmm.
I don't know how you feel. You
Right.
understand what I'm saying? So I have to understand it. I have to sit there and be like, okay, I'm listening, but I need to feel what you're feeling. So I can
Hmm.
get an understanding on how to try to get to the bottom of it, solve it, and that way we can move forward. But if I don't understand how you feel, then I'm just talking at you. I'm not
Yeah.
talking to you.
Yeah. And again, it all goes back to making the choice to want to understand, to have the desire to want to figure it out. Because some people just don't even have to. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. How to feel? Yeah, I
How to
can't
feel.
tell somebody how to feel because that's an emotion they're going through. I'm not experiencing the emotion that they're experiencing, so I can't tell you how to feel.
Right.
If I went through a similar situation with you, my feelings and your feelings are going to be completely different because the
Yep.
simple fact that it affects us in different ways. So you can't tell me to feel this way. I totally agree with you with that comment.
Yeah. And that sentiment within itself is why a lot of conversations die, because so many people want to take the time out to tell people how they should feel instead of understanding where that feeling came from and why they're feeling that way. Um, which again, something so small plays a major part as to why there's a breakdown in families. The breakdown in family dynamics, because that simple piece of, well, you got to understand that's your brother, you know, you're not supposed to feel that way. You got to think about this and think about that instead of, okay, wait. Like,
You have to think about this or you have to think about that. But hey, have you thought for 1 second about me and
thank
how
you.
it makes me feel and how it impacts me? Why does it have to be about everybody else? This
Mhm.
I'm just talking about just me right now.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
Once we get past me, then we can get it together. The family you choose can be more precious than the one you were born into. Absolutely. And why I have her on the screen, just like I was talking about my bestie Tree, this person right here is another one that I'll go to war for. There's certain people in my circle I will go to war for. She's one of them. So again, when I tell you that family means everything to me, it does.
Mhm.
And when you mess with my family, you mess with me. And it doesn't have to be blood. It doesn't have to
Right.
be blood. It's the people that's closest to you. It's the people that, hey, they've been here from the lowest point of my life to the highest point of my life. And they're still here. And they've never changed along the way. Because trust me, when you get up to the top, you see who starts acting different.
Mhm.
Yep. Don't be offended when a person speaks their truth. It's very much their truth. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So again, it's, like I said, these times and these days, we talk at each other. We don't talk to each other. We talk at each other. It's like, I got to get my point across. You're going to listen to me. This is what I have to say. And if you don't like it, oh, well. Well, how is that solving an issue or solving a problem when y'all supposed to be trying to sit down to alleviate the problem? But if it has to be your way, you can't alleviate it.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's just taking that step back, having that self-awareness to say, wait, how does it affect you? Because all of what you just said exactly just made the problem worse. I didn't solve anything. We didn't gain anything with me constructing that type of communication. We just didn't. So for me, again, it goes back to saying, and I don't want to sound like a broken record, but again, it goes back because the communication goes both ways.
Yeah. And you see, with the both ways, it's like, okay, if I don't like what you got to say, then I'm going to stop listening to it. No.
Right.
You have to listen to it, because now how are you being fair to the other person? You sit down, you listen, you understand it, and then you just move on. If you don't like it, you don't like it. But guess what? You have to respect it, because this is the way that person feels.
Exactly.
So,
and I swear, I swear, I think you can disagree with.
Yes, you can.
You can.
Yes, you can.
And be totally fine. The perfect example I could use for this is we literally are a part of a platform where 9 times out of 10 we disagree on some of the most simplest sports conversations there is.
Yeah, we do.
we literally disagree 9 times out of 10 with majority of the football conversations that we have on this show. We just do. But if you pay attention to every disagreement that's being had, it's not with the tone of like it's personal. It's not with the sentiment of, oh, your point is invalid, or like it's none of that. It's literally, I see what you're saying. I hear you. I just have a different vantage point from you in regards to that same exact thing. And hey, I may ultimately agree with you. I just don't want to do it right now because that's just what I'm feeling in that moment. I feel like if everybody carried communication with their family members in that fashion, the hard stuff would be easier to digest. The hard shit would be easier to digest. I promise you. I swear, if everybody just treated everything like a podcast setting where everybody just sat down, had a mic in front of their face, and just talked to each other the same way that a podcast setting is like, even the hard shit would not be hard. I promise you. I promise you. It would just be a regular conversation.
Yeah and no. Here's the reason why.
Okay.
Because remember, if you are set in your ways, it's nothing that's going to change that.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
if you're a hard line on saying this is my stance and no one's going to change it, that's what it is. And the problem is that when we get like that, then we're not open or receptive to anything else.
Right.
And when I found that younger me that used to be like that I didn't want to accept or listen to anything. And I changed that whole philosophy. I said, I need to stop this. I said, because it's not working out for me. And I had to be receptive. I had to open myself up. Like, okay, I'm a lot more better with listening now. A lot more better. Because at one time, I would tell you where the hell to go, and I ain't give a damn if you cared about it or not. But I said, no, I need to stop being like that because it's not good to be like that. And I was like, okay, let me change for the better. So now I'm more receptive to listening. Now I'm more receptive to just being, hey, I have to listen. I have to listen. I have to listen. I have to listen. I have to listen to understand what you're saying. I have to understand how you feel. I have to take in the note that, hey, you feel this way, why you feel that way, and let's see if we can solve this. It is okay to agree to disagree. Yes. It is okay to agree to disagree. Some families don't understand the simple apology and accepting accountability will go a long way. Most disagreements are from miscommunication, but instead of asking the questions for clarification, they take what you say and run with it or take it too personal. And that is so true. It happens out here. It happens out here. Happens out here. It happens out here. And again, you just have to really just sit down and just, hey, let me listen to you for a second. Because sometimes we're our own worst enemy. And here's why I say that. Sometimes you just need to shut the fuck up.
Somebody need to shut the fuck up. Yeah, I was just getting ready.
Just shut the fuck up and listen. That's it. That's all you need to do. You just need to shut the fuck up and just listen. Mm-hmm. And once you do, you may hear something that you wasn't hearing because you so stuck in your head that I have to defend myself instead of just saying, let me listen to what you're saying. Let me take in what you're saying and let me see if I can put myself in your shoes to understand why you're feeling this way.
I would even take it a step further. If you take the time out to listen, you might find yourself while you're listening to them. For example, as a parent, if you're listening to your child express themselves, and as you hear them expressing themselves, you find yourself in the midst of you listening. I know it's hard to do, but in the midst of you listening, you're like, damn, I remember when I used to sound like this, or I remember a time where I felt this way. Once that moment sets in for you, understanding is on 1,000. Because now you relate to that moment, that expression that they are, bringing out towards you. It's just it's powerful to listen sometimes more so than to speak. I know everybody say actions speak louder than words, but sometimes silence is more impactful than anything else.
Yeah, I know.
Than anything else.
I've learned that. I've learned that. I'm like, oh, I ain't gonna say a word. I ain't gonna say a word. Okay. I ain't gonna say nothing. No problem.
Yeah. I mean, cause again, you can talk and talk and talk and talk all day long. Eventually, it no longer becomes a conversation. It starts to become a lecture.
Yep.
And I don't know about you, but some of us graduated from school 10, 15, 20. Some of y'all in here 25 years ago. So if we wanted to listen to a lecture, that's what we got college for. But that's not what the moment's calling for. Let's sit down and have a conversation where we both exactly.
I was just about to say that because it's 30 years for me.
Exactly
30 years. I was just about to say that.
No, like if I wanted to listen to a lecture, that's what I got college for. I can go to college for that. But that's not what I'm looking for in that moment in time. I need to have a constructive and effective conversation with you where it's going to require for both of us, and I mean both of us, to not just say what we're feeling or what we're thinking, but to also understand and listen to what's being said as well. And then y'all come together and collaborate, and y'all say, okay, I know how you feel about that. You know how I feel about this. Let's figure out a way to move forward. We do it at work all the time.
Yep, we sure
do it at work all the time. We may not realize it, but we do it in our professional work setting all the time. If there is something that you do that's different than someone else, and y'all have to work together as a group project, that one person doesn't sit up there and say, well, my way works, we're going to do it my way, and that's all it's going to be. No. If y'all want to get the result that y'all are looking for, thank you. We do it with motherfuckers we don't even like. We don't even know.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So again, all the time. And so again, if you want the result that you're looking for, hey, I know I have a certain way about doing this. Okay. What is your way about doing this? Okay. Now, these are my strengths. These are my weaknesses. But let's see what we can do to make sure that we can get this project done. We do it in the work professional setting all the time. All the time. So why should it be anything different when it comes to those that are closest to you? Why should it be anything different?
It shouldn't, but hey, we're all different people. So
right,
we all think differently, right? We all have different emotions and feelings. You have some people that's just extra oversensitive, and it's just that's why, because no one person is the same. You could have same traits, same attributes, but something's always going to be different. Feelings are different, right? Where one person could let something just bounce off of them and keep going, the next person just may break them down.
Right.
So, and it's exactly what this comment is crazy, because some can't do it for the people we claim we love. That we claim we love. But again, remember, I told you, family stretches far from blood too. Yep. More than blood. When I say we ride. We family. And I don't do that with a lot of people. So just understanding someone when you listen to them, and just sit down and listen to them. Oh, you know something? The world will be a lot better if they just listen.
That's it.
Yeah. That's it. We ride it down, baby. We ride it down, baby. I'll take that extra oversensitive for 1,000, Alex. Just talk to me nice.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is this: if we took half the time to listen, like we put effort into work, maybe we'd be a lot better. Because when you go to work, you're going to do with everything you do because, hey, this is my craft. This is what I do. I'm the best at it. Well, why can't you be the best at listening? I'm just saying. Saying.
It's so simple.
If you are damn good at what you do as work, then why can't you be damn good at listening? I'm just saying.
It's that simple. It's that simple.
I'm just saying.
Like,
I'm just saying.
Again, like, it's just I don't think we can stress this enough. How simple
Yeah,
it
yeah,
is.
yeah. Some people like to hear their self-talk.
They do. And you know what, man? Like, if you want to do that by yourself. Like, do that in your own reflection. When you're taking the time out to look at yourself in the mirror and that's what you feel the need to do that. I don't think anybody's going to knock you for that. But the idea of having a conversation with someone that's close to you.
Don't be saying shit, huh? Okay, I got it. That's right, see. Yep, what she said.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like when you're talking to someone else that's close to you, it's like, come on. Take the time out to listen. That's it. That's it. Because I think what gets even more frustrating is when you're struggling to do that for them. But if you hang out with that exact same person and you see them do a complete 180 for someone that they've never met a day in their life, it becomes one of those things where we're like, really? So you can do it for them all day long, but it's tooth and nail for you to do that for someone like me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And when people have that set in their mind, it does change a lot of things for them. Right? Because it's like, okay, now I can't even get half of that when I talk to you or when we talk. It's always one-sided, or it's always this and it's never the other way around. But if someone down the street was, came up to you and started talking, you would listen to them the entire time? Really? Like, it just makes people raise that eyebrow of like, wow.
I got this one. Things that make you go, Oh, yeah. Okay.
It does though. And I think that's again, it goes back to like how things affect others, because you're absolutely right about what you said about how everyone is affected and have different things, and everyone is different. But there are certain things that is like universally like not okay. like it's just like, wait a second. You're gonna do that on one side, but it's tooth and nail for you to do for the other. And the other, you're around damn near 24/7, if not 24/7. But it's an issue to do that on that side. But let it be somebody out on the street somewhere. Oh, yeah, I can do that all day long.
And this is the problem that we have.
That's it.
This is the problem that we have. And again, like you said, it's communication. It's all communication. If we take the time to communicate, we're good. But we don't take the time to communicate at all. At all.
Not only that, but if we are communicating, we're communicating what we want instead of what we need to talk about.
Yep. Again, because we talk at each other instead of to each other. Mm-hmm. That's it. We talk at each other.
Gotta move the pride and the ego.
It's just really, really sad. It's really, really sad. And we just need to get better. That's all. We just need to get better.
Yeah.
We need to get better. We have to, just like I said, talk, stand, and just be better. Period. And like I said, I've struggled with that, but I'm getting better. So, getting better.
But that's the thing.
Again, because I know how I used to be, right? At one time in my life, I ain't want to hear shit. What? Yeah, no, you ain't talking to me. But
Yeah.
again, you just have to be better. And as far as with family just has to be better. We have to just sit there and talk to each other. We just have to sit there and communicate better. We have to sit there and communicate, period. But if you got people fighting against you, that communication isn't going to get you to where you need to be.
No. And again, like you pointed out yourself just now, you recognize that there was a certain part of you that existed for a point in time in your life, but you acknowledge that.
Mhm.
You acknowledge
I
that.
have.
So now if there are similar conversations or similar things that you see that remind you of that, your response is different. Your response is
Talking at a
different.
person only makes it worse. The term is what you say, but how you say it describes a lot of things wrong within families. And that's true. It is.
Yep.
It
Yeah.
is. It definitely is. And like I said, I may not agree with some things that go on in families. I may not agree with it. Like sometimes my family, they bicker and fuss and argue, and I'll be seeing some things, and I'm just like, I'm staying right out of that because I don't want no parts of it. Something I saw my uncle post it, and I said, I'm gonna skate right past that because I don't want no smoke. I don't even want to know about it. But it's the simple fact that when you see it and you like, oh, and I saw it and it's on social media, and I'm like, ooh, that's not good. Nope, let me skate right past that because I don't want no parts of it because it was volatile and it's going to lead to a bad situation. And again, I don't even want no circumstances. It's just simple fact that listen, I hope it gets better, but I think you can sit down and talk about it. I think you can. Hey, some things that you can't. Some things you can't talk about. It's like, put the boxing gloves on.
Yeah. And that's fine. That's fine. But even with that extent, something got resolved. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that's what it boils down to, especially in family dynamics. Like, there's so many different situations that aren't resolved. They're never resolved. Even if it has like a final word said, it's never resolved. If the child comes to you and they're like in their own way expressing to you about how they feel, you talk to them and you're like, your response is, I'm gonna try my best, but I only do it in love. It's like, wait. Like, so you're basically gonna tell me you're gonna keep doing it. It's what you're saying. Communication begins with being transparent and being able to fully convey your feelings in a way that allows growth and allows the other party to understand what you feel. Bingo.
Totally agree.
Bingo. Do I need to say it a different way? Bingo. Like, come on, man. Like, it's really it's unbelievable how something as small as communication can be so pivotal as to why families aren't, ironically, talking to each other anymore. I'm just saying, like, it's ironic how something to that extent is that much of an issue as to why families can't stay together. But you want to know what's sad though? When you're going to hear the most commotion is at someone's funeral. And that's
Wait a minute. Wait. That comment was in here earlier. I think Tree said it. Hold on. Here it is. She did. She said, give people their flowers while they can smell them.
Yep.
Instead of on the grave. Tree said that earlier.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Because I that's where the real regret comes into play. Because you had all this time to simply have one conversation. For lots of other people, they probably need 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 15, depending on how severe or whatever the case may be. However many conversations needed to fix the broken relationship.
Yeah.
Have
Wait
that.
a minute. Let me go back to this comment because people like to hear themselves talk.
Exactly.
I'm just saying. saying. I mean, I'm reading the room here. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. Like it becomes a point where it's like, wow. The only time someone comes to the realization that they needed to have that self-awareness about themselves on how to adjust the relationship between them and the other family member. The only time that sets in is when someone passes.
Yeah. Always. You know, I'm gonna explain this now. I don't want to harp on too much.
Sure.
When my mother passed away, I didn't realize how many people's lives she impacted.
Mhm.
Because when people started showing up at her homegoing service, that wasn't a funeral. That was a homegoing service. And the emotion that they were spreading, that they were showing, it showed me what type of person she was when she was here.
Mhm.
When she was here. It showed me that, hey, I can understand why everybody loved her. Everyone called her mom. I never forget this. One lady walked in. It was one of her coworkers. And she said, when she looked at that casket, she said, I can't see you like this. And she left. And I
Wow.
completely understand.
Wow.
She touched so many people's lives. She touched a lot of people's lives. So, growing up, I was hard headed, ornery. Be the first to admit it. And I didn't listen. So, that was between my grandmother and my mother.
Mm.
But my grandmother said something to me. And this was the truest thing she said. She said, you better get yourself together before I leave this earth, because no one is going to take care of you the way I did. I didn't know
Wow.
what that meant till she died. I didn't know what that meant till she passed. So then I started understanding. Then I started getting better. Then I started it, and everything takes time. It's a process. Because remember, when you're setting your ways or something, it's hard to turn that off.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It's hard to turn that off. So
Absolutely.
when you get to just, hey, okay, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this, and you reflect on what you've done, you'd be like, wow, I've really messed up. I need to change this. And you change yourself, then it gets better, because now communication gets better. Now you can talk about some things that you maybe not afraid to talk about, or you wasn't comfortable talking because the person didn't make you comfortable to talk.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's a work in progress. It's never a time where somebody can fully say that, hey, I'm good and it's nothing that bothers me. No one does that. Facts. I was introduced to my father at his funeral. I knew him as a disciplinarian. Others knew him as a mentor, friend, confidant, business partner, and best friend. However, I couldn't have had a better dad. His discipline was stern, as he was 50 when I was born, but my biggest cheerleaders and supporters. And it happened. That happened. Like I said, with my mom, I didn't know the influence that she had on people until she passed away. And it just taught me from that to say, if she did it, I can do it too. If she did it, I can do it too. And that's what I want to be, an instrument. I'm not selfish at all. So I try to be that instrument. Like I said, family goes far than just blood. It does. If we tight, we tight. You in my circle, you in my circle. Now, once I Donald Trump you, it's over. That's it. Yeah. That's my shady joke.
You couldn't help yourself. You could not help yourself, couldn't you?
Yeah. Sheena, welcome. And Sheena, send me a text, please. We have to talk. Yeah. So
Wow.
it's like I said, it's you have to be the bigger person. And we all have our biases, but that doesn't mean that we can't listen to someone. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that we can't understand someone else. My mom understood a lot of people, and that's why she was loved the way she was. And when she left this earth, at that home, that was a homegoing service. That wasn't a funeral. A homegoing service. That place was packed to the rafters. To the rafters.
Wow.
That showed me how much she was loved. So when I tell you I miss that woman, just like Sierra said in the comment, miss her. Miss her. But she was a pillar that held the family together. Now I became that pillar to hold the family together. So it's just that people ask me sometimes, where do you get your strength from? I said, I just have a I don't quit attitude. That's it. I don't have a quit attitude. You see how much I do. You see it firsthand. I just don't have an I quit attitude. It's I keep going. People ask me, they was like, how you doing 2 jobs, a podcast, and anything else that you're doing? You know what I tell them? With a smile on my face.
Yeah. I mean, and again, like I think it goes to show people just what the value that people could have on you, whether you want to acknowledge it or not. Like, and you don't have it. The thing that people get it mixed up with is just because they have a certain value in terms of what makes you who you are does not mean that you're putting them on a pedestal. It does not mean that you are having any biases or anything like that. You are acknowledging, you are a reflection of what you do day in and day out, and that stems from them. It stems from them. And when people, make compliments or they take the time out and they're enamored with who you are as a person, and they enjoy being around you and things of that nature, like it becomes a bigger deal. It becomes a bigger deal because it's like, wow, like I've come a long way. I've had people pour into my life to get me to this point. So the fact that in some way, shape, or form, you appreciate who I am, what I do, how I do it, I'm saying it for them, but thank you. like, thank you. That's it. That's it. It don't have to be big or small.
You lucky we on the air. I was gonna say something, but I'll say it when we get off the air.
So,
Yeah,
it's
but
a big deal, man. It's a big deal.
yeah, it is. It is. But it's like 1:12 in the morning. I'm gonna end this. But I just wanted to come on because that was weighing a little bit heavy on me tonight. I don't know why. It just was. So I said, let me just go live. And I knew you would see it. I said, oh, he'll be on here in a second. That's why I said I knew you pop in there. But this is what I'll say in closing, is that I think, like I said, all of us, we can do better. We can, no matter the circumstances. We just got to communicate a lot more better. And like I said, I haven't been the best with communication. I'll tell anybody that. I have not been the best, but I'm learning, and I'm still learning, and I will keep learning. It's just now I'm learning to listen a lot better and just listen.
Right.
And you have to listen. And if you don't listen to the person, then you can't understand the person's feelings. But it has to be reciprocated also, because the person has to listen to you. They have to understand what you're feeling, what you're going through. But we'll save that one for another show. Yeah, work in progress. Absolutely.
I just want to let y'all know we did not plan the white T-shirt thing. I don't know what happened with that, but I just wanted to make that very clear so that way no one's having to start anything. This was not planned. It just happened.
He didn't even know I was going to do a show. He just came on. I just jumped on just to say my little 2 cents like I always do. So he didn't know I was coming, but he came on in because he's got notifications. Oh, yeah, let me jump on this too. So, and we've been here an hour and 7 minutes. It's time to go to bed. Everyone that tuned in tonight, thank you so much. Thank you for your comments. Your comments mean everything because, again, this is our show. This is our show. This is where we talk about it. This is where we get the understanding, and this is where we get to feel. Oh, but since I have Nicole on the screen, I just want to let you know he's a Steelers fan.
Steelers fan?
Yes.
That's fine. That's fine.
Very, very, very good friend of mine. Very good friend. See, look, see? I just wanted to get us started. That's all.
Why'd you do that? Why'd you do that?
I just wanted to get us started. Raiders. Uh-oh. Hey, listen, hey, friendly fire coming up in here. And if y'all missed what we did, we did a whole in-depth 4-hour show on every team in the NFL, giving out our schedules. It was 4 hours.
Yes. And oh, by the way, y'all are more than welcome to watch that show and see what we predicted your team to do this year and let us know what you think. Some of y'all are probably not going to be a fan of it, but
it was just our opinion. Yeah, it was our opinion.
And so, if you disagree, you stink. So, I just want to put that out there.
It's all good. But hey, I'm gonna sign off. I said my 2 cents. Do you have a 2 cent leaving note that you want to say?
Yeah, all I want to say is from a family dynamic perspective, keep the main thing the main thing. I know that sounds cliche. I know, that sounds easier said than done, but just keep the main thing. And always ask yourselves, always ask your loved ones, those close to you, what's the main goal? What's really important? What do we need to achieve? What's being gained? And what do we need to accomplish together for us to thrive together? So that way we can still stick around forever. So there you go.
In Jesus' name, amen. Good night, everyone. Thank y'all all for tuning in. Thank you for your comments. I appreciate each and every last one of you, no matter which platform you were listening to. I appreciate each and every one of you. Anybody that's on X that may have been listening and did not comment, I appreciate you listening also.